and I'm going to go over an example for how to use happy analysis for a primary source. This is a learning objective to analyze primary and secondary source documents. This is an important skill in any social studies class. You can see we're going to be assessed with our beginning level. Can we identify historical context and the point of view of an author? Developing would be we can explain the audience and the purpose in addition to the historical context and the point of view. To be proficient, in addition to both beginning and developing skills, can you also analyze the importance of primary documents and connecting it to larger ideas and themes? And finally, the ultimate goal is to be at advanced. Can you evaluate different themes, ideas, and connections expressed in these documents to give more value or less value or connect it to other classes perhaps in language arts or science or health class? Ultimately, we want all of you to grow in this from a beginning level all the way up to an advanced level. So let's do an example. The task here is to analyze Common Sense. Common Sense is a primary source document. And if I scroll down here to my second page, here is some excerpts from Thomas Paine's Common Sense. I can see in the title here, that's what this is. And I can see down below here, I have a byline to know who wrote it and when it was written. So before I begin reading this document, I want to think about happy analysis. So I come back up top here. Historical context. That's a fancy way to say time and place. So the time that it was written, I look at the byline at the bottom, and I see that it is written January 10th of 1776. So I'm going to write that up here. January 10th, 1776. The place. It doesn't tell me where it was written, but Thomas Paine, I know this man. I know that he is a patriot in the American Revolution. So I'm going to copy his name up here because the point of view means the author is Thomas Paine. What do I know about Thomas Paine? He is a patriot in the American colonies. So that's going to help me up here. To put it into historical context, I know in 1776 there are loyalists and patriots that disagree about, oops, I better check my spelling there, that disagree about what the colonies should do with Great Britain. So if I put myself in a time machine back to January 10th of 1776, maybe I'm at a coffee house and I've got both loyalists and patriots around me. I know that people are debating. Should the American colonies break up with Great Britain? That's the opinion of the patriots. Should they remain loyal to Great Britain? That's the opinion of the loyalists. Thomas Paine, my author, I know that he is a patriot. So that helps me understand, before I even begin reading this document, he's going to be in favor of breaking up with Great Britain. So I've got the beginning level down, and I haven't even read the document yet. Now I move on to developing the audience. Who would be meant to be reading Common Sense? Common Sense is I might have to read the document to figure this one out, but I'm going to at least make a hypothesis. He's an American colonist, and so I think he's going to be talking to other American colonists. And I think he's probably going to talk to both loyalists and patriots in his message. The purpose of his message, this is a pamphlet. I'm thinking the purpose of his message is going to be to inform colonists of the situation in the colonies, but also to persuade colonists to fight for independence, because I know that that's what the patriots ultimately are going to do. Analyze. Now I'm going to analyze the importance of primary and secondary sources by connecting it to larger themes and ideas. So why do I care? Well, to get this, I really had better read the actual document. Again, I've done the beginning and the developing level before I read the document. So now I can go into it knowing that it's written by a patriot named Thomas Paine in 1776. And I begin reading it. The cause of America is a great measure the cause of all mankind. Volumes have been written on the subject of the struggle between England and America. Okay, so that puts it in context between England and America. Men of all ranks have been embarked on this controversy, from different motives with various designs, but all have been ineffectual, and this period of debate is closed. Arms, meaning guns, as a last resource, decide the contest. The appeal was the choice of the king, and the continent had accepted the challenge. So in 1775, the battles of Lexington and Concord actually already took place. So he's talking about how arms is now the answer to the injustice of the king. The sun never shine on the cause of greater worth. 'Tis not the affair of a city or a country or a province or a kingdom, but a continent of at least 1/8 part the habitable globe. This, not the concern of a day, a year, or an age. Posterity and vitality involve the conquest. Posterity is going to mean future generations will become more or less affected, even to the end of time, by the proceedings now. But Britain is the parent country, say some. So he's talking about the loyalists here. Then, the more shame upon her conduct. Even brutes do not devour their young, nor savages make war upon their families. I challenge the warmest advocate of reconciliation. That means forgiveness, to try to forgive the king and go back into an alliance. To shew a single advantage that this continent can reap by being connected with Great Britain, I repeat the challenge. Not a single advantage is derived. So he's saying there's no benefit to staying loyal to Great Britain. Everything that is right or natural pleads for separation. Okay, so I was right. He is a patriot, and he's going to persuade the colonists to be separated. The blood of the slain, the weeping voice of nature cries, 'tis time to part. There we go. He put that in bold. He's putting this in common everyday language that anybody at the time could understand. 'Tis time to part from the colonies in Great Britain. As the government matter, it is not of the power of Britain to do this continent justice. The business of it will soon be too weighty and intricate, and be managed by any tolerable degree of convenience by a power too distant from us. All right, so us. Now this verifies what I thought, that this is Thomas Paine is writing this in the colonies, and he's writing it to the colonists. The king is distant from us. So he's not in England, he's in the American colonies. So very ignorant of us, and if they cannot conquer us, they cannot govern us. I am not induced by motives of pride, party, or resentment to espouse the doctrine of separation and independence. I am clearly, positively, and consciously persuaded that it is the true interest of this continent to be so. So he feels persuaded that it is time for America to part. He's trying to persuade others. O ye that love mankind, ye that dare oppose, not only the tyranny, but the tyrant, stand forth. So this is a call to action. It's a rallying call to war. So let's verify. Am I correct up here? Yes, it's written in January 10th by loyalists and patriots are disagreeing about it, because he's talking both to loyalists and patriots. So the audience here, other American colonists, both. That's correct. I'm going to keep that. The point of view is Thomas Paine. He's a patriot in the American colonies. The purpose, inform of the situation and persuade them to fight for independence. So I verified after I read it that all of that is correct. I've got my beginning level skill. I've got my developing level skill. Now we have proficient. Why do I care? Well, he is convincing many American colonists to join his argument. Is it impactful? Larger themes and ideas? Well, I know that July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence will be written. Therefore, it worked. It was persuasive. And many colonists joined his cause to fight the American Revolution, to become a new country. So there we go. Thomas Paine, he was one of the factors that led to the Revolutionary War. He helped cause the Declaration of Independence. He helped cause Americans fighting against the greatest military in the world in the Revolution. So now here we are. Let's take a stab at advance. Can I evaluate themes? Do I give more or less value to common sense? Support, refute, or modify this claim. Common sense did more to contribute to the American Revolution than any other event. Okay, I have a couple of options here. I can support it, support this argument and say, yes, it did, because. My other option is going to be to refute, say, no, it did not do as much as, and then maybe I'm going to choose a different event that's going to be more impactful. Or I can modify that claim, and I can say something like, well, it did cause some to join the revolution. However, and then maybe I'm going to also add something else, saying it was one of many events. Put this into context of the Boston Massacre, the Boston Tea Party, the Townshend Revenue Act, the Stamp Act, the Quartering Act. And I'm going to say that this is one event out of many that's going to lead to the American Revolutions. So in your answer here, the true skill here is evaluate. How much value are you going to give to common sense as being a noteworthy and important document in American history? How does it lead to other themes? How does it tie in with other themes and ideas? So there you go. That is how I would do this for common sense. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that the common sense excerpt here, I hope that going through this as a document helped you. Again, if I would have read through this entire document first without doing happy analysis, it would have been a much tougher read. I would not have understood it. After all, it was written over 200 years ago. That's going to be difficult for us to comprehend without some kind of context. So now your task for your first assessment, I would like you to analyze the Declaration of Independence using happy analysis. So do this on your own. Same format that we just did for common sense, but now you have a different document, the actual Declaration. Now this is an abridged, meaning a shortened form, but it's still going to be a tough read. 230 years old, but hopefully happy analysis will help you understand the purpose of it. So good luck. I look forward to reading your happy analysis on the Declaration. Thanks very much.